Hello viewers, 4DIYers here, back on the tutorial video for everyone. Now in this particular video here, I'll be doing a demonstration on how to replace the headlight adjusters on your BMW E39. This only applies to the pre-facelift models, doesn't apply to the models 2001 and newer, as they are a different headlight assembly. First, we're going to start by doing, obviously, removing the headlight from your vehicle. Then you also need to split the lens assembly down. You have to remove the lens so we can get access to in behind the reflector portion. If you're looking for videos on those, I will include them in the description below. That's both how to remove the headlight and both how to remove the lens. Next, what we want to do here is we'll be removing this reflector assembly. Now, in order to remove the reflector assembly, what we need to do here is possibly can do this by either just pulling up on the center portion here, because there is a little retaining clip in behind there, basically just a pivot point where this whole assembly moves on, and the adjusters are on the top side here. What you need to do is, I just make it a little easier here, is removing, there's a small T20 screw. Now I've already removed it. You can see it here. When looking down on the inside here, now obviously you can't see it with the camera there. Obviously there's not enough light in there, but you can see there will be a little hole where it did go. Now once you remove that, we'll be using a flat screwdriver and we'll be popping this retaining assembly. We'll be twisting it in a clockwise position in order to remove it. Now in order to determine if your headlight adjusters are broken, what you can do is you can go from the back side here where the lights are, and you should be able to do this. Now there is two adjusters on each side. You can see the adjuster screws right there. What can happen is either one of these or both of these can break at the same time. They are made of plastic. Obviously they do get fatigued over time, especially when the headlight assembly is warm inside, and these do break. And besides causing this issue, and when your car does go over bumps, your headlights will vibrate up and down. Your headlight will also point towards the ground, so therefore you do lose your sight of vision during the night. I'll just take that flat screwdriver here, going towards as far as we can here. Now there's two levels to this housing here, so we can go to the level here with the deeper housing, but just where the shallower housing does start. And we'll look at, there's a little bit of plastic bracket in there, and we want to just push that outward. And then once we pushed it out so far, there should be enough slide in the screw. And then what we'll do is go to the other side that we did remove the screw from, and we'll pull it towards us then, therefore that rotates it in a clockwise position. Once we've done that, you can then see it's usually loose there, and we might have a little jiggling to go around in order to remove that. Now when touching this lens here, ensure it's probably better to wear gloves, because you will put fingerprints in this lens, and they tend to be a lot harder to clean, because what can happen is you can actually rub the chrome coating off these. Now another note also to be made is, if you did leave the bulbs into place, don't touch the bulbs, because you don't want oil from your skin getting on those bulbs, which therefore can damage them. Once you've disconnected that portion on the bottom side there, now we're looking here, which is the top of the headlight. So obviously there was that little retaining clip there. What we'll do is we'll back off our adjusters all the way here, like so, and we'll do the same for the opposite side as well. If they are broken, obviously you don't have to worry about this, because it should just come right out. But if you do have one or the other connected, they do work basically just on a screw-on assembly, and they just move back and forth on a threaded shaft and then hold the light in place in order to maintain its adjustment. So if you do have one of those that aren't broken, you do have to do that process as well in order to get this lens out. Now as for the rubber grommets on the back side, if we want to pull the lens out, we will have to remove these rubber grommets, as they do hold it in place. You just want to push them to the inside of the housing like so, and then the lens will be freed on the back side. Now you can see here where the adjusters do pop into location here. Obviously we do have the one clip there. Now I've already had to remove this. I've had this apart actually once already, and I have tried to epoxy the adjusters just for temporarily in order to just drive the vehicle at night. Unfortunately that doesn't work, because of what usually happens, it'll end up breaking in a new location. Even though that epoxy does stick, the plastic that is used for the adjusters, they're already brittle and they'll just break again. So you can see I do have the one left here, which I will have to remove out of there. Now if you do find that the little ball assembly does break off into place there, normally what I usually take is either, you can use a Dremel and just slowly grind it out, and as soon as you get that center grinded out, then you can go ahead and take just a pair of needle nose pliers and then crush it ever so slightly. What will happen, this will be brittle enough so you can break it out of there, or other times you can use a small flat screwdriver and just slowly chip it out of place. It does a little bit of tedious time there. Now as to the bottom here, you can see this little plastic bracket which I was speaking about a moment ago there. This is the bracket that we do have to rotate, and once you do have it out of place, normally I don't like putting the pressure on the reflector, because what can happen here is obviously it is all plastic, and especially I'm working in the cold right now, I don't want to risk it breaking anything here. So what we can do is just pop this out of place here, and then we can go ahead and unsnap this clip, screw this retainer back into place, and then go ahead, when it's all ready to put back together, we can snap it back into location. Now moving back over here, you can see where that plastic bracket does go in, where we do have to rotate it. One screw's left in there. Obviously the other screw I've already removed. When we do put it back into place, we can go ahead and put those screws back into place. Now this one here, I leave it snug, but just enough so that if you do ever have to take this apart again, it is fairly easy. Now what I found with the factory specs, it wasn't that tight to begin with, therefore it does make it a lot easier to work with. Now as for the adjuster locations here, one adjuster is removed already. Obviously the other one still is in place here, and you can see it basically comes out like there. Now obviously, as I mentioned before, this one here I did epoxy, so it did hold together, and again it broke in a new location. Therefore I just went and got the whole adjuster kit. The adjuster kit includes both of these. Now the ones I did purchase were the OEM versions, same plastic as used. Can go ahead and purchase metal adjusters. Now they are available online, although they are a lot more pricey compared to the plastic ones. What I've done here is I already put this plastic clip back into place. Now that white little plastic piece, it does snap onto the tip of that. I've already put that on the rear of the reflector. Next, I went ahead and installed the new adjusters. Now I've installed them about halfway in. Now you want to install them about halfway, so that ensures that they don't break or don't put any excessive pressure that you don't need to be on there. Then we'll go ahead and snap the reflector back into place. Now once you've finished up snapping the diffuser into place, go ahead and snap each one individually. Don't put too much pressure on each one. Sometimes you may find you may have to adjust each of the adjusters so you don't put too much force on it. Then go ahead, snap it back into the rotational portion on the bottom, the one little plastic bracket there. Then you do have to pull the grommets through on the back side. Then you go ahead and put the lens back on and then put it back in your car. Now you will have to adjust the headlights accordingly, according to factory specifications when you are finished up, as the adjustment has been pushed out of place and therefore you have to adjust them in order to see properly at night. So this concludes the rest of my tour video. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to post them below. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you for watching.